The roller coaster jolts its way clumsily up the tracks, and when it reaches the top, a dramatic view of the Isle of Wight coastline is revealed. Children shout and scream with delight as it halts expectantly on the edge of the drop. As the only adult on the ride, surrounded by no one over the age of 10, I'm feeling a little silly. But as soon as the cliffhanger roller coaster takes the plunge, I forget all about that and I am transported back to when I was last at Black Gang Chine as a 10-year-old myself. The wacky and wonderful attraction, embedded on the stunning cliffs on the south of the island, celebrates its 175th birthday on Wednesday and is Britain's oldest amusement park. Owner Alexander Darbell with the T-Rex dinosaur model that is a highlight of the park. Image Daily Mirror. Mirror reporter Rhiannon Lubin on one of the rides. Image Daily Mirror. Despite my fellow passengers, Black Gang Chine is not just for children. Not wanting to grow up is a theme which runs deep through the park, and its owner, Alec Darbell, whose great-great-grandfather Alexander Darbell founded the park in 1843, is perfect proof of this. Alec may be in his late 50s, but he is like a real-life Peter Pan. As he shows me around the park, I ask whether he likes to go on the rides. "Well, of course, I have a go on the rides every morning," he says with a grin, then quickly adds, "You're not supposed to know that. Alexander Darbell is the fifth-generation owner of the park." Image Daily Mirror. Owning a theme park would be a dream job for many, but not for Alec. Jobs are for grown-ups. This is not a job. I haven't grown up yet. I'm not allowed to grow up. If the park is not making me smile, if it's not fun all the time, then is it going to make anyone else smile? And if it's not going to make them smile, then we've got it wrong. Black Gang Chine gets its name from the blue slipper clay the land rests upon, which can be quite muddy and black in color. A gang means a walkway, while the chine, a coastal ravine, has long since eroded away. Queen Mary visiting the park in 1920. Image Black Gang Chine. Alex said of Alexander, "It's a shame he built the park on blue slipper clay, but I wouldn't swap it for anywhere." The Isle of Wight is the most beautifully varied 144 square miles this country has to offer. We are guilty of one thing: keeping it quiet. The vision of Britain's first theme park began when Alexander bought the carcass of a dead fin whale that had been stranded off the Needles. He then decided to display the skeleton in Black Gang, formerly landscaped gardens designed to attract the first Victorian visitors. Soon more and more flocked to the park, including Queen Victoria and Albert, who Alec believes drew inspiration from the whale exhibition. Visitors on a motorcar at Black Gang. Back in the park's early days. Image Black Gang Chine. Standing beneath the huge skeleton, Alec says, "This is pure speculation, but Victoria came in 1853 and 20 years later London's Natural History Museum arrived with a lot of input from them." And what was the first exhibit? A whale. I wonder where they got that idea from. This is a wonder of nature. You could read about a whale and how big it was, but until you physically see it, you wouldn't know. So that is what we did. When Queen Mary visited in the 1920s, she bumped her head on the whale's jawbone and it knocked her hat off. Within minutes a man appeared and sawed off the offending piece of bone. Darbell is immensely proud of the wacky paradise he calls home. Image Daily Mirror. A horse and cart at Black Gang. Way back in the first days it was open to the public. Image Black Gang Chine. Remarkably, Black Gang stayed open during both World Wars. Alex says, "We had quite a lot damage because they'd bomb Southampton and Portsmouth, and on the way back to France, get rid of all the bombs. My grandmother told me the Luftwaffe came to bomb radar sites in Ventnor. They flew right over Black Gang and should tell my father get down and pretend to be a cowpat, so they don't bomb you. Black Gang is the third oldest theme park in the world after Bakken in Denmark, opened in 1583, and Prater in Austria, which dates from 1766. Alec adds, the other two closed during the war, so I'd argue we're actually the oldest, as we've been doing it continually for 175 years. He shows me around its 44 acres, from the Singing Dodo display and Cowboy Town to the Underwater Kingdom, with the enthusiasm of an excited 8-year-old. A favorite spot is Restricted Area 5, where a 25-feet T-Rex roars at terrified kids. The whale skeleton formed the first exhibit at Black Gang. Image Black Gang Chine. Alex says, Black Gang was so much a part of my growing up. Sometimes it's difficult to separate what is normal to me from what is normal to everybody else. Doesn't everyone have dinosaurs in the back gardens? Back in 1972, the original dinosaur models, since replaced with newer ones, were flown in. It was filmed for Blue Peter. That was my first helicopter ride, Alex says. I remember thinking, wow, John Oakes and Valerie Singleton in our house for lunch. Alec admits, it's going to be difficult for Black Gang to stay in the family because I don't have any children. We have second and third generation employees. It's very much the family business too. The park is celebrating its big birthday with special shows and events. I know we will be here for another 175 years. There are so many things I want to do, says Alec. Pointing behind us, he adds, in a few years, we are going to do projection mapping on that cliff and make it come alive. Why? Because we can. We've got the location of all locations. So much has changed since we opened. From no transport to going to the moon and beyond. Incredible. For tickets and information on the park's 175-year celebrations, visit www.blackgangsheen.com.